it is very sad. It is very disappointing. I know that feeling when you are starving and you would like to eat to a certain restaurant near your place, and you were searching on social media and you saw this restaurant that is fancy, clean, and when you eventually get to this restaurant, it just disappoints you, right? So I know that feeling, and beside of what Rodney said in regard to this restaurant of which they fails to practice, all right, here are the other things of which they failed, and our team suggestions, all right, of what this restaurant must do, all right. So another thing of which they fail is that they fail the proper practice of microbiological process of food handling, all right. So as what Jorlyn told us just now, she said that the environment is dirty, right? So when the environment is dirty, of course, there is a high chance that the food that has been delivered to the customer is dirty also. I mean, if you're cooking it, dirty environment, and your customer, right? You enter the restaurant and you saw that the environment is dirty. So of course, you will imagine that the kitchen must be dirty also, right? So how they cook, they prepare it must be dirty also. And when they deliver it to you, the food can be infected by dirt. So there's this high chance of food poisoning, and that is very dangerous. All right. So yeah, of course, the restaurant must take note about that. That of course, having a restaurant which is you're serving food that will just go internally. I mean, it can get you sick, and also of course, if you're serving food, then having a clean environment is really a must. So beside of that, our team also would like to mention that beside of potential food poisoning, they also fail to to properly practice the temperature handling, when it comes to still microbiological food handling, proper processes of food handling. So there's these two type of temperature, of course, when it comes to cooling and heating, right? So when it comes to cooling, you see, to for the food to still be okay, not spoil. So there's this thing that we call, right? Let me read this one. That when cooling, cook potentially hazardous food, right? It must be cooled to 21 degrees Celsius in 2 hours or less, right? Or to 5 degrees Celsius in 4 hours or less, right? So if the restaurant, I don't know, but assuming you see the restaurant, if the restaurant fails to practice this one, then of course that will be also a problem of potential food poisoning. All right, so that what I mentioned just now was about cooling. All right, so when it comes to heating, all right, so for heating processes, heat, all right, is fast to 60 degrees Celsius or higher for 2 hours or less. All right, and reheating is possible in the microwave, right? You can do reheating in microwave or in oven or stove top. All right, so don't reheat it more than once. All right, you see here in the Philippines, regrettably, there are a lot of carinderias, what we call here, or bakery, that they are reheating food. But you see, the proper microbiological food handling processes is that you must not reheat the food twice, because that is very dangerous, right? So it could cause, of course, food poisoning. So yeah, I hope the restaurant adhere that one, they properly practice that one. But one thing I'm sure is that if the restaurant is dirty, right? And one thing I'm sure about is if the restaurant is dirty, then potentially, of course, the food can be dirty also, and it causes again food poisoning. All right, so let's get to the next one.